The B-1B Lancer, better known to its crews as the Bone, was built to outrun Soviet defenses. When the nukes came off, it reinvented itself as a precision bomber. Now, decades later, it's packing standoff missiles and even hypersonic weapons. Born in the age of cassette tapes and mullets, it should have been a museum piece by now. Instead, it's still strapping on new missions, proving that clever engineering and adaptability can keep an aircraft relevant long past its expiration date. A program that refused to die. The B-1 story starts in the 1970s, when the original B-1A was supposed to replace the venerable B-52. Sleek and blisteringly fast, the B-1A could hit Mach 2 at high altitude, making it the Corvette of strategic bombers. But politics and budgets clipped its wings. President Jimmy Carter canceled it in 1977, arguing that emerging cruise missile technology could do the job cheaper, and that stealth aircraft were the future. For a while, it looked like the B-1 was destined to be just another footnote in Cold War aviation. Then along came Ronald Reagan in the 1980s, eager to beef up America's strategic forces. The B-1 was resurrected, but with a twist. The new version, the B-1B, wasn't quite as fast as its predecessor. Its top speed dropped to around Mach 1.25 instead of Mach 2, but in exchange it got tougher structure, more fuel capacity, and dramatically improved performance at low altitude, where terrain-hugging flight would help it sneak past Soviet radars. Between 1985 and 1988, exactly 100 B-1Bs rolled off the production line, giving the United States a brand new bomber that could carry huge payloads deep into enemy territory. It entered service in 1986, just in time for the final act of the Cold War. Designed for speed and survival. The first thing that grabs you about the Lancer is its shape. This is not the lumbering, straight-wing silhouette of a B-52. Instead, the B-1B is all sleek lines and curves, with variable sweep wings that look like they were lifted from a futuristic fighter jet. Those wings can move in flight, swinging forward for takeoff and loitering, then sweeping back like a bird of prey when it is time to sprint. This feature allows the B-1B to balance efficiency and performance, conserving fuel on long-range flights and then unleashing its inner cheetah for a dash into or out of danger. Under the hood, or rather under the fuselage, the Lancer is powered by 4 General Electric F101GE102 afterburning turbofans. Each one is capable of producing enough thrust to make even the heaviest bomber leap into the sky. Together, they propel the Bone to more than 900 miles per hour at sea level and just over Mach 1.2 at higher altitudes. That kind of performance is impressive even today. For a 477,000-pound aircraft, it is downright jaw-dropping. But the Lancer wasn't just about going fast in a straight line. It was designed to live down in the weeds, skimming along at treetop height to hide from radar. Its structure was reinforced to handle the stress of that kind of low-level flight, where turbulence and terrain create brutal G-forces on a bomber's airframe. This focus on survivability, combined with clever engineering, gave the Lancer a unique edge that made it far more survivable than its massive payload might suggest. Radar and electronic wizardry. If the wings and engines are the muscles of the B-1B, then its radar and electronic warfare systems are the brains and the nerves. At the heart of its avionics suite is the AN/APQ-164 radar, a passive electronically scanned array. That may sound like technobabble, but what it means in practice is that the radar can operate in multiple modes at once. Terrain following to keep the aircraft safe at low altitude, synthetic aperture to create detailed ground maps, and targeting functions to help deliver weapons with precision. The radar is even tilted downward in its mount, a subtle design tweak to reduce the Lancer's radar signature and give it a measure of stealthiness long before stealth became fashionable. Then there is the AN/ALQ-161A defensive system, a veritable orchestra of electronic warfare gear. It listens for enemy radars, prioritizes threats, and blasts back with jamming signals to confuse incoming missiles. Combined with chaff, flares, and towed decoys, it creates an invisible bubble of protection around the bomber. Pilots who fly the Bone know that while it doesn't vanish from radar screens like a B-2, it has plenty of tricks to make life miserable for anyone trying to shoot it down. Reinventing the cockpit. Like many aircraft born in the 1980s, the B-1B started life with analog dials, green monochrome displays, and avionics that would make a modern smartphone look like an alien artifact. That was fine at the time, but by the 2000s it was becoming a serious liability. Enter the Integrated Battle Station, or IBS, completed across across the fleet by 2020, IBS was nothing less than a full-scale avionics renovation. The upgrade included new glass cockpit displays, modernized data links, and a built-in diagnostic system that made the Lancer much easier to maintain. Crews went from squinting at tiny dials to using large, full-color displays that provide a clearer picture of the battlefield. IBS also gave the B-1B the ability to seamlessly communicate with other aircraft and ground forces, a must-have in the age of networked warfare. This was not a minor tune-up. Each jet received more than a dozen miles of new wiring and thousands of new components. It was like gutting a classic car and refitting it with a Tesla's electronics while keeping the original V8 engine roaring under the hood. The result is a bomber that may look vintage from the outside but feels entirely modern inside. Payload King. No talk of the Lancer is complete without its payload. With 75,000 pounds of internal capacity, it's the heavyweight champ of America's bombers. The B-52 hauls cruise missiles outside, the B-2 slips past defenses, but the Bone blends speed with a cavernous bomb bay. Loaded with Joint Direct Attack Munitions small diameter bombs, or Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff missile, it's formidable. And with external pylons reactivated after years of treaty limits, the Bone can now carry up to 36 standoff missiles in one sortie. That makes it less a bomber than a missile truck, capable of delivering a devastating punch without ever entering enemy airspace. Hypersonic ambitions. Perhaps the most exciting development for the B-1B's future is its potential role as a hypersonic weapons platform. The Air Force has already tested the Lancer with mock hypersonic stores carried externally. While some programs like ARRW have seen turbulence, the prospect of arming the Bone with hypersonic cruise missiles or other advanced standoff weapons remains on the table. If this happens, the B-1B would once again reinvent itself, this time as a launch pad for the fastest weapons on Earth. In a world where standoff range is everything, that kind of flexibility is golden. The fleet today. Not all B-1Bs are still flying. In 2021, the Air Force retired 17 of the oldest, most maintenance-heavy jets, leaving 46 in service by late 2024, split between Dyess AFB in Texas and Ellsworth Air Force Base in South Dakota. These wings keep the Bone mission ready and train new crews. Despite its age, the bomber remains a globe-trotting workhorse, flying Bomber Task Force missions across Europe, the Middle East, and the Indo-Pacific. In 2024, B-1Bs even struck targets tied to Iranian-backed militias, proof the Bone still packs a punch. But longevity comes with risk. A January 2024 crash near Ellsworth, thankfully with the crew safe, was a stark reminder of its wear and tear. Still, the Air Force continues to invest, confident the Bone has vital work left before the B-21 Raider takes over. Engineering lessons that still matter. What makes the B-1B special is not just its payload or its speed, but the way its engineering choices still matter today. Variable sweep wings may seem like a relic, but they give the Bone an adaptability in flight that newer bombers don't have. The terrain-following radar is a Cold War survival tool that still offers value in complex environments. Its electronic warfare suite, though old, remains a shield that has evolved to keep up with modern threats. And the massive investment in avionics modernization has turned it into a platform that can still plug into modern battle networks. And that's the story of the B-1B Lancer, the Cold War speed demon that still refuses to retire quietly. If you enjoyed diving into the brilliant engineering behind the Bone, hit that like and make sure you subscribe. Until then, fly safe, stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.